Hi friends, happy October. This is Linda and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. Let's go ahead and flip through September in my Hobonichi Cousin. Okay, before I get to the actual flip through, I want to share a little bit about what I have in these pockets here. So I hadn't put anything in these pockets when I originally got this cover from Baumkuchen. I love the way it looks. It's so pretty. It's so like nice quality, but I don't love the pocket configuration. And honestly, I'm not super thrilled with it for a few reasons. One being this back here has this super thick leather, which is so pretty, but you can kind of feel it when you're writing, even with a pencil board. I can kind of notice it because it is so thick. And then I would prefer having a few like smaller pockets. I thought the large pockets would be good, and I think that like one large pocket is good, but then I think I'd rather have some like horizontal pockets. So in here I have this washi sampler that I made of some of my favorite washi tapes. And this is just so that I have some washi tape available when I have my planner on the go. Otherwise, on my desk right up here, I have a drawer with all of my washi tape. So if I am journaling or planning while I'm here at my craft desk, which is what I do probably like 90% of the time, I have access to all my washi tape. But when I don't, I have this. And I might make a second one with some like other options, some more basic ones, or I might just wait till these like run out and then put different ones on there. I just did like some of my current favorites or like newer ones. And then I also have a few things here that I printed off the internet. I like to print like screenshots and those types of things to include in here. And whenever I get around to printing things, I will print a full page of media and go back and like fill in gaps. And I just had a few extra ones, so that means I have those available for like my next few spreads when I need them. So I also wanted to point out these tabs. I know a lot of people have asked me about these tabs in the past, and the shop I got them from, they are super cute. They are like vellum, and they're kind of like hard vellum, but they have not held up. So some of them are fine, but like you can see here, so I actually had 2 full sets of the entire year. So like here's my annual goals page, and I have like the goals tab here, and then I have the full year of those, and those held up. But I had also done them on the weeklies, and those just did not hold up. And like this weekly one is like falling off. A bunch of them ripped off. Like after July, they're all gone. And it's not for me using them, and I don't really carry this around that much. I do put it in my bag, but it is in a zipper pouch. So, and it does have the cover that like should protect them, but I think they're just super brittle. So I'm not going to use those again next year. I'm considering whether or not I'm going to put tabs at all on my cousin for next year or my other planners, but we'll see. That's a story for another day. I just wanted to share that update. Moving here to my tracker. So I did keep up with my tracker all of September. I've started October. It's October 1st when I'm filming this. The day's not over though, so I haven't finished filling that in. But I decided to track the same things in October that I did in September because it worked really well. These are my long-term trackers. So these are things that I do like once a year or twice a year. I didn't get a ton of them done. The ones with arrows are like, I did them like previously. So like I just did them earlier because I did them at the end of August. So I rescheduled them. And then the tulips and winterizing yard, I decided I actually wanted to do that in October because we had a very warm September. It's too soon to winterize the yard. So I'm moving that to October. I haven't done it yet. And then a couple of these I just didn't get to. But basically, once I get to it, I will write the date that I did it, the day. Like, so the 30th, I cleaned the microwave. I will put that on there. So I have a record of when the last time was that I did this task. Then let's see, moving to my monthly. So for my monthly, again, I just didn't get a ton of stuff done in September, which is totally fine. These are my September tasks, which is just a repeat of what you just saw on my tracker here. So I have it on my monthly view. These are the cleaning tasks that I do every month in my house. As you can see, I don't do them all every month, but that's my goal. And I just have like various colors based on how long it's been since I've done it and how much of a priority it is. I just didn't get much done in September. It was a busy month. I was tired. I traveled. And, you know, cleaning just isn't like my top priority. I'm fairly clean. My house is pretty clean, but I do have a lot of hobbies and other things that I do, so cleaning tends to come kind of last. Then I had some of, these are all of like the catch-up tasks. So those are all the tasks from like earlier months that I have not yet done yet. Those are later months, but the ones from like earlier in the year that just I haven't gotten to. And a lot of that was because this has just been a very, very busy year. My daughter moved out in August to college, so I think that this last quarter of the year is going to be a much slower pace, and I'm probably going to get to some of these larger projects. Some of them are more ambitious things that I don't necessarily have to do. Like I do want to deep clean like the basement and the garage. Those would be nice, but if they don't happen, they don't happen. That's totally okay. These are just some tasks that I need to do just in general. Like I need to, buy some new glasses, and I need to re-register with the bar. It's due in October because I'm an attorney. So like I just have those tracked here, and those are tasks that don't really have like a specific day or week I'm going to do them. They're just here. The rest of the monthly spread, I don't decorate it. This is purely future planning. I write some things in here that like appointments I have, things that are scheduled, plans with friends, my work schedule, if I'm like telecommuting. So I just kind of have an idea of kind of what to expect, or like if I need to schedule an appointment, this is what I will look at to see whether or not I have the time or when I'm free. Moving to my weekly spread. So my weekly spreads kind of serve two purposes. The bottom half of the spread is my task list of like chores and things that I really want to accomplish on a particular day. And I plan this at the beginning of the week. And to plan that, I really just like flip to my monthly and look at like what are my monthly cleaning tasks here, and kind of what's my schedule look like, what times do I have free, when I could probably do things. There's certain tasks that I also do every week that are not on here. Like I always do laundry every Monday. I do all my cat chores every week. So like I have all of that stuff on here that I always have to put on here. I water my plants and a sweep. Some of those things, like I don't actually end up writing them or doing them on the day they're listed, but I like to have them as a reminder to put them on my daily list. Here are some tasks that I put that are just like general tasks that I want to accomplish during the week. And then here's kind of like my focus. And then at the bottom is what I had for dinner. So this is kind of like future planning. This part right here, well, and then across the top, I put the weather too, which is, I guess, sort of memory keeping, but it's also good for planning. I do it the day before, so I kind of have an idea of how to dress the next day. And I also put my office schedule here. The rest of this is really what I do for just to record kind of what happened. So this is memory keeping after the fact. I write down what I did. I write down my work schedule, some of the notes from the day. And I use this as a reference when I work on my Project Life album. So I want to have something that I can look at to reference for Project Life. And this has been working well. It's not great for future planning because I want a weekly spread where I can say, oh, I have an appointment here, and like plan all of that out. And I don't do that on here, like a new weekly spread. So like today is October 1st. So next week, I haven't set it up yet, but I will. And when I set it up, I'm not going to put anything in this middle section because that is all for my memory keeping after the fact. So next year I will have these in two separate planners, which will work much better for me. But for this year, I'm finishing out the system that I have and kind of finding like what I want in there. Previously I had done it, let's see, I had done it more decorative like this. And I love this. I love how this looks. This just took too long. And I need the spread to be functional. What I really need is a place where I can write down every day what happened. So I have that reference for when I'm doing my Project Life. And what was happening was I didn't have the time or the energy to kind of do all this craftiness. So I wasn't doing it, and then I would forget. So I need it to just be very basic. But I also want it to be pretty, because if it's not pretty, then I'm not really drawn to do it. I feel like it's wasted. I don't know. I just have this like thought in my head that my planner, my Hobonichi, has to be pretty. So this week I tried doing something like this, using like some titles, and I don't love it. It's okay. It's definitely was easier to keep up with than something like this one was, but it still wasn't my favorite. And then I went like way simpler this week. I added some washi, but pretty much just am like journaling. And that's what I've been doing since then. I have, you know, my chores, my dinner, my focus, and I've been like stamping these now rather than handwriting them. I don't know if I did that every week, but I really like how that looked. And I like that this is just very simple, but I do think I want to start like mixing some stickers in. So I did place an order with the Coffee Monster Co. to get some just like general stickers so I can have a little bit of decoration in here that will be simple and easy to keep up with. So this week I did a little bit of stamping and I stamped my titles, and I did some like bullets that are more decorative but pretty simple. And I think that that's kind of what I'm going to stick with, something like this but with some stickers just for a little extra decoration. This is the current week. I haven't quite finished Sunday because the day's not over, but I did add a few little doodles and color in, and I do like that. I like that I don't have like the pressure to do it, but it is fun to have it if I feel like it, and I do like how that came out. So I might do stuff like that in the future and my stickers and just kind of mix it up. And then moving to my daily spreads. So I start the month with a goal page, and I didn't get much done in September. I had all these goals, I had all these ideas, and it was just, I was exhausted. I just didn't get to a lot of stuff, and I was really prioritizing just like my self-care this month, which is totally fine, and I'm happy with it. So in October, I'm gonna do this a little bit different, but you guys will see that when I share October. I didn't plan the first few days of September, which I think was also kind of like why this, like my goals and stuff didn't really work out so well, because I didn't get all this finished, even writing it in here on the first. And like, I was just so swamped at the beginning of the month. I had a lot going on. I had some extra craft projects I took on for assignments that I had to do. And I had a lot going on at work. So I just wasn't in my planner that much. I decided to use these pages here. I haven't used this one yet, but I came in here to kind of make some notes and ideas of what I want my Hobonichi Cousin to look like in 2024. So my Hobonichi Cousin in 2024 is going to serve a sole purpose, and that is as a journal. And I will share a video that is my complete 2024 lineup once all of my planners and everything arrives. I'm still waiting on one planner. And then I will share a full like walkthrough and setup and everything. But for now, I'm just kind of letting you know that right now in 2023, my cousin is kind of dual purpose, but that just doesn't work very well for me. So my cousin in 2024 is purely going to be like my journal. And I'm just making some notes about like how I intend to do it and what my style should be and that kind of stuff. And like, this was my first year using the cousin, so I didn't really know my style. And like, if you look back on like older pages, it has changed so much throughout the year. And I will share a full year walkthrough at the very end of the year so you can see the full planner. But it is kind of multi-purpose, but I'm still finding my style. So in next year, I think that I will have a much more uniform style throughout the year, but we'll see. This day I was planning for a live that I did over on the December Daily Instagram account. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, what December Daily is or anything, I have a whole playlist of videos that are relate to December Daily, and you can go check out that Instagram account that is run by Allie Edwards Brand. And I was on there every Monday during the month of September sharing some thoughts on December Daily. But these were my like random notes for that live to plan for it. And looking at it now, like I hate how sloppy it is. So I really wish I had taken the time to write this out more clearly and not like scribble in here. And I did this on another day too. So I'm going to try to work on that and make this planner just kind of slow down, because I have a tendency to like rush through things and get a ton of stuff like done all the time and like try to get so much done. And then I end up with like sloppy stuff like this, which is fine. But I think like I want it to look nice. I want it to be pretty. I want to slow down and take the time to make it look nice. And I think that that will help me just calm, because you can probably tell I am a fast talker. I am fast at like everything, and I need to just slow down sometimes. So here's my Monday plan. So this is my typical kind of layout now. I have my plan, like my to-do list here, my journaling here, and then I add in the bits and pieces that I print out. And then I have some like more decorative like notes things down here, and I've been mixing those in. The 5th, I didn't plan at all, and I ended up using this as a like practice page for some handwriting. I was starting to try to do these titles like this. You'll see it in some later spreads where I tried to do titles like this from, similar to Helen from the Coffee Monster Co. I love how hers come out. For whatever reason, mine just look kind of silly. I don't know. Maybe it's getting a little bit better, but like this one I like, but I don't know. So here I have a task list, my journaling, and a header. I do like how this page came out, but I'm not sure how much I'm going to do that kind of title in the future. We'll see. Here was the other page that was just a bunch of like random notes and like messy, and I'm totally fine with like the random notes that don't really make a ton of sense because they made sense at the time, but I just don't want it to look so messy. So I do like that I have like sticky notes. I got some sticky notes on Amazon. They're just like some craft sticky notes, which I love. I've been using these a ton in here. I just love the like how neutral it is, and they're great just to add some little things and kind of keep it organized. But I don't love like how messy this is. Friday was a regular spread. This is kind of going back to my older style of what I was doing in the past in here with like my colorful header and my daily color. This is Friday, so it's blue. And I do still love that, but I'm not going to stick with it every day. I'm sure it will keep making an appearance, but I don't know. I'm trying to find my style between the like super bright colorful and like more neutral, because I do like a mix. This one I do love. I have the Saturdays, my purple, my Sundays pink. I have some like additional bubbles here for some additional notes, my journaling, my task list. Here's a sticky note. This has like financial stuff on it, which is why I covered it up, but I like keeping track of that in here. And then here is where I tried that title, and I actually love how this one came out, but there's other places where it didn't come out so great. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I kind of switched it up and started doing the washi at the top rather than my headers at that top section. And I did add a header here in my journaling, but you know, I like having the flexibility. I think that I will never have a style where every single page follows the same format, because part of the joy to me of having a daily journal is that creativity. So I like that I switched it up, but I'm still finding kind of trying things and stuff. And I'm hoping that eventually I will like most of my spreads. Now I would say like maybe like 70% of my spreads. So like a little bit more than half, or maybe like 60%. So like more than half, but there's still a lot I don't like. So when I say I'm trying to find my style, I'm not trying to find like a formula that I'm going to use for every single page, because that's just not me. But I'm trying to find, you know, different tools that I can use that I do like, so that I'm happy with the overall product. Here I did some journaling that was like all the way across the page because I didn't have a task list. I don't love how it came out. It's fine. And then I added some more sticky or more printouts at the bottom to fill in the page. Here's Wednesday. I didn't have like a full planning this day, so I just made a simple task list and some journaling. I also want to note, like, my journaling here is not necessarily like, this is what happened today. Sometimes it is, but I would say more often than not, it's not that. A lot of times it's just like whatever's in my head and just like spilling it out on the page. This is not my like record of what happened. That is where my weekly spreads come in, because that is my record of what happened as a reference for Project Life. And my Project Life album is my record of my life. So if I'm ever like, oh, what was it like in 2023 for me? Like, how does September 2023 go? I'm going to flip back through my Project Life album, not my cousin. This is more of like a mental health thing for me to just like write it all out. And I will keep these because I like having them as a reference. And occasionally there are some notes in here that are important to me that I will want to look back on, or like my planner, just like the calendar piece will be nice to see. So I do keep these, but this is not my main form of journaling, like as far as record keeping. It's more that in the moment, I am enjoying the process and getting thoughts out of my head. So here's my Thursday. I love this washi tape, by the way. This is from the Paper Person shop. And so I'm continuing this with the washi across the top. I do like how this title came out. And then this day, I hated it. It was such a mess. Ugh, it was awful. But then it got a little better on Saturday. And this is me just like needing to practice more, right? And so that's what I'm doing. I'm practicing my hand lettering. I still am not sure that I love this style for me. I love it when other people do it, but it doesn't always look great when I do it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see. So here's a Sunday. I used like a bright pink and more colors this day. I'm not sure I love like how colorful and like these colors don't really go together, but I do like the colors on this page. So I don't know. Monday, again, practicing and like feeling frustrated that my lettering isn't where I want it to be, but it's still, you know, reminding myself that practice makes progress. I'm better than it used to be because I practice so much. So, and I'm hopeful that if I look back on this in a year, I will see so much progress. So that is kind of one of the reasons I love to keep these. The 19th, I did not plan. And what I ended up doing was coming in here and putting some samples of some of my favorite washi tape right now. And then I was doing this while I was making this sampler and deciding which ones were going to go on there. I do have way more washi than this and way more favorites than this, but these were just some of my current favorites and just what would fit on the page. This day I made a note that this was the first day that I started a fire in the fireplace, which I think is something that's fun to kind of document. But again, this is not really my documenting place. This is where I'm just spilling whatever I feel like writing. This is something I've been doing. Sometimes you'll see it in some of my spreads, but what I call a bedtime brain dump, which is basically just like right before bed, I write down everything I'm thinking that I need to do the next day so that I'm not going to stress about it during the night, because I do struggle with insomnia and I struggle with anxiety. And a lot of that at night is me thinking like, oh my God, what if I forget I have this appointment tomorrow, or I have to do this. So just spilling it all down in my planner, knowing it will be there in the morning. It just helps me sleep and helps relieve that anxiety for me. This spread, I absolutely love how this one turned out. I was playing with a title. I think this was inspired by Lindsey Scribbles, and just adding in some, you know, hand lettering and just going a little bit simpler with like no big title, just like simpler titles and headers, some notes, some printouts, some washi. And then on this day, I just didn't journal that much. And I had added this in and I had this big gap and I was kind of planning on coming back to journaling. And then I got an order of coffee in. I order my coffee beans online from Sweet Leaf Coffee Roasters. And they had thrown in a few like big stickers that are super thin. So I stuck one on here. I was a little annoyed that I hadn't had the sticker when I did this, because I would have put this one down further, but it was too late to like move it because the Cousin paper, the Tomo River paper, is so thin. You can't really remove things and re-stick them because it will tear. But I put it on there and I love how this page turned out. This day, I just journaled and it doesn't look pretty, but it's also kind of fun. Moving into Sunday, I've noticed a bunch of people documenting their New York Times games recently on their Instagram and stories. And I was like, you know what? I do the New York Times crossword puzzle pretty much every day. I don't finish it every day, but I want to start documenting that. So I just screenshotted the fact that I finished the Sunday puzzle without cheating, and I wanted to add that in here. On Monday, I like how this one came out. I don't love this banner. It was too narrow, but I like the washi. I like the overall look. And then I created a tracker here because I was editing photos and like content for my Instagram and YouTube. So I loved that I had this tracker here to kind of keep track of my progress during the day as I worked through these. And then I just like how it looked. This day was super busy. But I went to a movie and I remembered to keep my ticket stub, and I know this will fade over time, but I don't care. It's still pretty and fun in here for now. So I glued it down and added some washi. And then rather than like journaling the full page or starting from the top, because I knew I wasn't going to spend that much time journaling because I did this on the next day, I think think it was the next day. I just did a little bit here. So there's all the blank space at the top, and I like how this is all together. So I was feeling super burnout and I didn't plan on this day. Instead, I was planning on Thursday. And when I did that, I had some extra time. So I decided to make a list of signs and symptoms of burnout in me. And I only got to 8. I was thinking I would go back and add to it, and I might to fill out the page, but this is where I am right now. I do really like how this one came out. I might end up actually sharing that on my Instagram feed. So if I do, I'll wait until I finish it or decide for sure that it's finished. Thursday, I was feeling like a need for calm, so I used a calmer color, and I like that my planner kind of reflects my mood in that way. Friday, I did this like title. I'm really liking using the black. This is the Funanasuki hard tip from yes, I think those are from Tombow, right? And I love how like bold the black is, but I really liked how the title came out here for this burnout. And so I've been using that a bit more for some. I've always used it for like some of my titles, like here you can see it, but I liked it so much. I've been using it a little bit more the past few days towards the end of the month here, finishing up the month. So I did this title here. I just did some journaling, and then I started playing Connections on New York Times games. So like I had pointed out, I had documented this on this day, and I started playing Connections on this day. So I've been sharing my results on Instagram, and I've been saving them to put in here. And I like that it has the number on it so that I can remember which day it is, unlike the crossword, because the crossword just tells you the day of the week. It doesn't tell you which crossword date. I wish it did so I could, save all of these and print them later. But these ones do tell you, so I was able to know which ones they went on. And I just added another picture here, some journaling, and that is how I wrapped up the month. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye.